All right. Good morning, guys, and welcome to today's episode of Market Check. I'm Snorlax. You also know me as Tommy. Might be looking a little bit more clear today. I did just get a new camera, more importantly, a new computer. So I'll be able to keep up with these guys finally now on this show. But I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to how we resolve post last week because we still haven't truly gotten that resolution, right? We so far have gotten kind of what I figured we would after just that ridiculous nuke candle we had last week, right? That flushed, I think, 10% of total OI in one or 2 hour candle. It's pretty ridiculous, right? Like 1.3 billion in liquidations. We've talked about all of that before on Bitcoin. The largest liquidation event, of course, since FTX. Where do we go from here? Right? The momentum to the downside is still fairly strong. Or have we wiped out all the long leverage and now, mechanically speaking, we move higher? I think there's plenty of room for debate as far as our next move goes. But, did we put the top for the year in? It does look a lot more likely now than I think a few weeks ago, certainly, right? Given the ferocity of the dump, given how it broke market structure. And I just want to harp on the violence of the move again, right? Which is so violent that when you have a candle like that, it often crushes volatility for a period of time as you need positions to come back in and rebuild open interest. So is it one of those situations where we are now ready to start forming that range? Or have we maybe not seen all of this momentum through in the immediate term? And I think there's, like I said a few minutes ago, I think there's a good argument for both here, and we're gonna make both probably. The argument for more downside here in the immediate term is probably that the systemic risk in crypto hasn't quite subsided. Right, you still have BNB hanging off a cliff. It hasn't broken below $200 yet, but we're getting closer and closer to a level where you'd think you'd get a peek into that Binance house of horrors. And somebody had a really interesting tweet about this that I wanted to bring to y'all's attention. I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't have any inside knowledge on something like this, but they said, what do you think if whales were trying to make Binance insolvent? And I thought that was a really interesting angle, which is also probably basically what happened with FTX, because I think about it specifically from this angle. Sam and FTX, they bought the dip in June of 2022. They bought the crap out of it. They basically went all in on the dip. Any lower and they were done. And you could see it reflected in the price action by how heavy it was. They were kind of hoping for people to come in and save them, and they just could not do that. And when FTX was finally liquidated on a sweep of that summer low, right? So, I mean, we did technically tag their liquidation. The market impact was ultimately minimal because I guess they knew where the liquidation was and it was absorbed by buyers. So I think, maybe this is a situation like that again over a higher time frame, but I thought that was worth mentioning. But yeah, I think that's kind of the argument for downside in the immediate term. As far as, what if this kind of extends out, which is also very possible, right? What if we just range here for, 4 to 6 weeks after a move like that? I think that's equally possible, quite frankly. We'll probably have an answer on that by the end of this week. But after a move like that, it wouldn't surprise me at all if this market suddenly had volatility get sucked out of it as fast as it entered the market, which would obviously stink, but not a surprise. Meanwhile, in legacy land, you have equities that have been continuing to show weakness, right? I mean, I'm sure at some point we'll put in a high of the week, but it does look likely that equities at least continue to, at best, bear chop, but probably continue to bleed lower. How does that affect crypto? It hasn't had the best effect so far, but I think this is a level for equities to kind of put up or shut up, right? We are getting close to an area where, if bulls don't step in to defend, we could be talking about 4,100, and that's a much deeper pullback for equities than just what we've seen so far. Probably results in a deeper pullback for crypto as well. But yeah, we haven't broken through support yet. This is a market that still hasn't quite made decisions, I think, on what is possible here into the end of the year. We've talked before about What does Q4 look like? What does the end of Q3 look like? Is it kind of just bear chop and bleed into the end of the year? Or can we potentially form that higher low, before a speculative Q4 or maybe a speculative Q1? I guess we'll see. But bottom line, the next 2 weeks are very important for this market to be able to decipher directionality. And I think more importantly, to start forming the structures that are going to be able to tell us what the direction of this market is going to be for probably the next 2 months. But yeah, I'm going to go ahead and open the floor up to you guys. I'd love to get some charts up, a good view on Bitcoin, BNB, whatever you guys have on your mind. I know it's a market that, as the title says, it's kind of on a cliff right now. So there are a lot of things to look at to be able to glean signal potentially.
Yeah. Hey, Tommy. Hey, guys. I'm seeing a lot of different arguments out there for where we go next. I mean, truthfully, guys, like I just don't think that a drop like this resolves that quickly. And I think most people are overly eager to see some sort of quick recovery. I'm seeing a lot of like RSI speculators saying it's never been this low. And I'm seeing a lot of people, very excited to scoop up this dip, which should imminently turn around. And I just don't necessarily subscribe to the belief that, yep, we just had to quickly flush that leverage out of the system and like that's it. This was a pretty serious high time frame break of market structure, and I think it's going to take a little bit of time. So, I mean, I'm still holding shorts. I'm still hanging out. I mean, truthfully, I think that there's a higher probability that we go down like sub 24K before we go back up to like 28 and a half or 29. So for that reason, I'm kind of thinking about my positions that I'm still holding as kind of like options, like they're options that have a very far dated out, expiration. So I don't really have to worry about the time, but which price will come first, and again, I'm pretty sure that we're going to continue sliding here, at a minimum. I would think that a really like obvious level for us to tag would be a sweep of 24.8. I mean, on Binance, that was the low set on June 15th before that big squeeze up to 31. I would think that level should get swept. But if you lose that level, then I think you probably go like 23 and then maybe a bounce to like 26.5. And then from there, ultimately, I do think that 21K does come on Bitcoin. It could take a little bit of time. But also, if there is some like serious systemic risk with Binance, and we do see a major liquidation event with BNB, or maybe the black swan is just simply BNB sliding so much, and that creates systemic risk that wouldn't otherwise be there without BNB sliding, then I think the move can happen a lot quicker. So the question remains, what is underneath that 210, 215 level? We've started to kind of dip our toe in. Nobody really knows, but it's hard for me to be bullish after the break of market structure that we had. And again, I don't necessarily think we're going to see like a huge, liquidation candle on Bitcoin again. But I think right now there's simply an imbalance between the bid side and the ask side. I don't really see many people wanting to step in front of this thing, and buy Bitcoin at 26K right now. I just don't see that. I think maybe at 23K they might. I think I might, but not right here. Not right now. I think this is going to take some time to resolve. So we'll see. But yeah, happy to be here. We don't need to go on like a tirade and just speak for an hour. So looking forward to the discussion. Hope everybody's doing well.
No, thanks, Max. I think the overhang on the market is something that we've talked about pretty much all throughout August, and it's been there for months, and it just hadn't quite manifested itself in any meaningful downside, and until last week, right, where we got it kind of all in one go. So, Dr. Will's outlook, how are you kind of viewing last week's dump within the context of this year, as well as, just within the context of the move? I think there's a lot to decipher ultimately, but 25K is a very big level for Bitcoin, and below it, things probably don't look so hot.
Yeah, I mean, I talked about this the other week when we were on Spaces, and I think that what we saw was a flush, and I think anytime you see a flush, yes, there can always be a continuation of the move, but you got to kind of step back and evaluate from where we're landing at and where we found support. And arguably, that flush came right into range of 25K, and we talked about this towards the beginning of the year, Max, where I told you where we were going to run up. Expectations obviously a little bit higher than where we are, and we were going to come back to that 25K and potentially even revisit that 19K range. Um, that's always a potential there, but I think when you see a flush, it's very it's one of those moves that once you see it happen, you don't want to round trip your short if you were in a short, right? And arguably, I would say you almost could, because I think when you're looking at things from a long short perspective, the longer we sit down here, I think the more bearish sentiment gets, and if we don't break, again, time capitulation can be just as powerful as actual capitulation, right? Time based. So a lot of people don't understand the difference between time based and regular capitulation. Regular capitulation is just a market sell off, whereas time based means you continue to hold a range, and eventually that range just breaks out, but not in the direction that everybody expects for capitulation. It actually goes reversal due to capitulation on time. And I think like that's just something we got to do here. We just got to be patient and give it time and let it build out and see where things are going. And arguably, I would give it some weeks before I'd even think about considering a position. And then once I kind of saw the move from weeks from now, I would then okay, but like all right, now I can take positions against the market. Last time we hit the lows on FTX, keep in mind we traded sideways for like a solid, what was it, a month or two or something like that, I think, roughly. Let me pull the chart real quick. Um, yeah. When we came down, we had 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. Yep, 2 months. Literally traded sideways for 2 months before we actually broke out from the FTX collapse. So if even if you're a bull on this area or a bear, right? I would say give it a couple weeks before you start positioning against the market right now, and let things kind of settle. Right? So many people are so impatient in the market that they want to jump in right now. And the reality is when you jump in right now, usually you're jumping in the wrong direction of the market, because you're jumping in on emotion. You're not jumping in on direction, and you can't tell direction one day after a flush, right? So I don't know what's your guys' thoughts on that.
I mean, dude, I was at the lake the entire weekend and I was worried about my service. I was like, oh no, if I need to exit or enter, I won't be able to, whatever, whatever. And we did nothing. Every time I was able to get a little bit of Wi-Fi, just exact same 26-1, 26-1. Like I think right here I mean, if you're not already in a position, I don't think it's probably worth getting into one. Yeah, that's a juicy fractal right there. I was playing around with some earlier, but
It's a little too juicy for me, Max.
yeah, yeah.
You guys want to take a tour down Juicy Lane? I'll show you right now.
I think a realistic scenario, like 25K for sure. This was my target. Hit it right on the nose as far as my thoughts. I know other people had the same target or similar target. Um, Obviously, I was expecting higher before lower didn't happen. And once we start moving into these ranges, I can't really come back and be like, all right, we're gonna see 36K, right? I have to let things kind of settle out here and see where things are gonna go, because my thesis, and I talked to you about this, Max, is like once we start moving that direction directionally, we're probably gonna continue that direction going into the end of the year. Probably moving into that 19K range. But the reality is for me, if I'm an investor and not a trader, which there are, I would say, majority of people that are probably more investing than trading because they don't know how to trade. I would be leveling this thing down, right? So I would be taking 25K as an entry, and then I would be taking 19K as an entry, and just you can come in heavier and heavier as it drops, or you can come in lighter than lighter and lighter as it drops. It all depends on your perspective. I mean, if you're going after Michael Saylor, the hero of Bitcoin, the hero of all boomers, you go in, at 20 billion at the top, and you go in at 10 million at the bottom. Um, Best strategy ever. But if you come in with a realistic expectation and a realistic plan, I would arguably say This is kind of one of those areas where you could come in with size and you could size down pretty easily through these areas, much better than what you would have at the top, expecting some kind of super cycle scenario that never, came to fruition.
Yeah. I think generally speaking, we're in the process of setting most likely a macro high or low before the end of this year. And that for sure, at least for myself, I'm going to be positioned spot by the end of this year. So, if you think about it like that, like, okay, are we going to come to 21, 22, 23? Is the bottom in right now? Whatever. Like, it's probably worth, if you're just investing, starting the DCA, right? Like, I don't think we're going to go set a lower low. Honestly, I don't. What does that take us to? 16? Yeah, that would be, that would be tough. But again, I think the time frame is Q4 where you want to go in heaviest. But like, honestly, if you are not a active market participant, you just want to like set up a Coinbase $2,500, $5,000, $10,000 buy every 2 weeks from now until the end of the year, I think it'll serve you well. If you're not going to be staring at the chart and staring at different levels and whatnot. But yeah, I like that scenario as well, Max. The only problem I have is that the fractal is from 2018 and this is a pre-halving year. Right. But I mean, it still looks pretty.
Do I dare say this time is different?
Oh dear.
All right, let's hear the super cycle. Go ahead.
Wait,
you want me to make
you know what
I've got a super bear cycle.
Look, you know what I really want. I want to throw this out here live, right? Whenever I hear the word super cycle, I want somebody to explain to me what they mean by super cycle. Go ahead and give me some numbers, give me some dates. Explain to me what you mean by super cycle, because I hear this word slung around a lot with no definition behind it. I would love to entertain somebody's thesis on what a super cycle is to them, because I feel like it's just a word. I don't feel like it has any value at all. What's your guys' thoughts on that? You're muted, Snorlax.
I mean, my interpretation is probably that it's just not up only, but like we don't get these 70, 80, 90% drawdowns anymore on Bitcoin. We just like go up and up and up and up and then correct along the way. But it's not like bull market, bear market, bull market, bear. It's just like yeah.
Isn't that a normal market?
Oh, look at
a normal cycle.
Look at that cat in 4K, man.
Yeah,
it's a good looking feline.
Oh, he's about to go make some mischief for sure.
What's your thoughts? What's your thoughts, Snorlax, on the super cycle?
It is kind of just a word. Like, what does that even mean? What does that mean for crypto? I think a lot of people had it intertwined with the concept of interoperability and adoption for crypto technology that we haven't quite gotten yet. So maybe the super cycle hasn't happened. If we're interpreting the super cycle through the lens of the last bull run, I would argue that we did get the super cycle in altcoins. We didn't get it on Bitcoin in the sense that it only slightly made a new all-time high. But if you look at a lot of the leading altcoins, they basically got an entirely second bubble within the market. So from the standpoint that like it's a bouncing ball and the bubble progressively gets smaller as it begins to bounce, it almost feels like a super cycle. But I agree with you. What does that word even mean? How do you define what a super cycle is without defining what your criteria is?
Yeah, and that's the reason I wanted to get that out there is because like I feel like that's kind of one of the issues with these markets, especially speculative markets, is just people don't even understand the words they say. They just say words, right? But what's the value behind your words if you can't describe to me what you?
I'm going to tell you right now what the super cycle argument is, and I'm going to try to articulate it better than those that say it often do. The super cycle is a mindset that they enter. One, because they're extremely bullish about an emerging technology, but it's this idea that yes, even though there's bear markets, there are bear markets within a much larger secular bull market. So an 80% correction in an asset class doesn't basically force you to exit the secular bull market. It's all part of a giant multi-decade long adoption curve. So when people look at Bitcoin and crypto and they say, yes, it's a super cycle, they're saying this is an emerging technology. This is a young asset class. 80%, 85% corrections are normal for this type of asset. I refuse to acknowledge that there's a bear market because I'm looking at it on a high enough time frame in which it doesn't really matter for my thesis to play out. So I think they could be right and they could also be wrong. But again, the most important thing, and I think a lot of people, I mean, they get caught up in this. This is the reason for most, like, the most issues that we have is just people, they fail to disclose the time frame in which they are speaking about. You know, you have to be very clear. So I mean, truthfully, I even think like Kush is probably correct, but his time frame is like the big hiccup there, you know? And I think a lot of these guys that talk about super cycle all the time, you know, again, I think it's just important to, I think it's important to just add a little bit of a drop down menu to your statement, you know, add a disclaimer, say, we're in a super cycle, but it's going to last another 10 years, you know, until I say it's over, you know, because in the meantime, when you're calling super cycle at the all time high, you know, of a, again, most people would consider it like a couple year long cycle, and then the cycle ends and a new one begins. You know, it's important to not get people wrecked, because you could be correct and that Bitcoin's going to go to 500K in the next decade, and that there is a technological S-curve adoption that's happening. But within that, there can be 80, 90% corrections and get people screwed. So I think when people talk about super cycle, it's their way of expressing, you know, their bullishness towards an emerging asset class or a revolutionary and disruptive tech, but it's not that actionable. You know, it's basically just saying DCA and forget about it for a decade. But they don't say that, you know. They don't say that, unfortunately.
Max, look at September 2019.
I would, but my mouse died, so I have to let my mouse. So we're stuck on this until you can take it off, but
all right, let me show you something.
Yeah, unfortunately, we are stuck looking at my doom to I don't even know what you want to call the next part. Doom to prosperity fractal.
Let me find.
We're going down here, guys. Like, I know everyone wants to like pretend like we're not, but like we actually are for sure going down here. Like I'm not closing my shorts here. I'm still holding my shorts, and I'll cover lower. And you paper handers, you know, you closed your shorts, you made some money. That's nice, but not me. Not me. I'm gonna keep holding, man. Foot on neck. All right. You're muted, Tommy. You're muted, Tommy. You're muted, Tommy.
I had to put the I had to close the $500 short on Matic that I had.
Tommy, you weren't even in for $500, man. You were paper trading. Just tell the people
you were paper trading.
Okay. You guys knew Tommy's size, man. You'd wonder what the hell he's doing here talking to you guys every single day. This man's a literal porpoise. Should be swimming in the ocean.
I like that word, man. Every time I can't even just like pronounce it in my head without laughing.
It's an awesome word, man. It's a big, and just so you guys understand what I'm talking about, a porpoise is it's a mammal, I believe, in the ocean. All right. It loves the ocean. It lives with all the other ocean creatures. It's not a whale, though. It's smaller than a whale. So I wouldn't call Tommy a whale yet. You know, he's not trading like $20 million clips quite yet, but he's definitely a porpoise. You know, that's a large sea creature. It's not quite a whale.
Oh man, what do you think about this? I think we're just in September of 2019, man. And
no, I like that. I just don't think you're gonna get your squeezes. But yeah, I mean that's 100% accurate.
Look, this, I tried to account for it without COVID. You know what I mean? Like, this was COVID. Like, if we just I picked it up right here, right? Like, if we just cut out this section, basically, would be the green line, right? But either way, it's bear chop into, 23K in November, basically, which lines up with a lot of stuff.
If you don't see a ton more downside over the next like 7 to 10 days, it's probably just going to start forming a range here.
Guys, listen to me. BNB is about to fall off of a cliff. It's going to drag the entire market down with it. It's not going to turn around here. We're not going to stop. It's going to dip 50%.
I mean, look at the funding rates for perpetual swaps. Hold on, Max.
Save your data for someone that I'm just kidding.
Bybit is more negative than BNB, right? Or than Binance shorting BNB, but they're both kind of hilariously negative. Let's see. Bybit is more positive than Binance on Sol. It's more positive than Matic on Bybit.
Tommy, I'd like to ask you a question real quick about that.
Okay.
So it's pretty negative right now, right? So the implication of that is that there's an incentive for people to try to long because they can get paid, right? So my question, that's not my question. My real question is, my real question. My real question is, so Tommy, are you going to long BNB right here then with all that negative funding?
Come on.
Come on now. See, no one wants to long
That's like the meme. That's like the meme where you criticize society and then the guy says, but yet you participate in society. I am intelligent.
I didn't say I was perfect, but I'm saying it's the truth. All right.
I would not long BNB, man. I don't know. The only person buying BNB is CZ. But
so all of that negative funding, all of that open interest, and you still wouldn't long BNB, nor would I, nor would anybody. So we're going to keep going down. People are happy to pay the expensive funding because they're going to make 100% on the trade. It's okay.
Maybe.
All right. Max long BNB got it
down.
I'm just saying, like, it's why is it going to stop here? Like, this is what the third or fourth largest name in crypto that's attached to the world's biggest crypto exchange, and it's sitting on the edge of a cliff facing a 50% drop imminently, and people are talking about it's all good, time to bid.
Yeah.
Get the hell out of here, you guys. I feel like I'm the only one that understands what's happening here. Everyone
it's like, completely over for BNB, man.
Look.
But what does that mean for Bitcoin and ETH then? Let's talk about it.
Not good.
Is BNB going to nuke and everything else is fine?
Max,
I mean, come on, guys.
We have to remember. Okay, let me throw out something there. Very systemic. When you own the majority of the pool, you can manipulate price however you want. BNB is owned by CZ.
They've been doing that all year, and now they're out of
doing that for years.
Ethereum is owned by Vitalik. Did you guys see it just moved 600 Ethereum to Coinbase? Probably to support.
That is a true drop in the ocean.
But probably to support price. That's probably why he sent it there, just in case, to protect floors.
600 ETH.
Guarantee he didn't send it there to sell it.
600 ETH is not.
Okay, what did he send it there for?
I don't know. Probably gonna sell it.
He doesn't need the money. He doesn't need the money. No, he doesn't need the money. He cashed out in 2021.
He sent 600 ETH to Coinbase.
Yes, he did, but that's not enough that could be absorbed in 1 second. Like,
how would he support price by sending ETH to Coinbase?
Maybe he needed just enough for a certain amount, because he probably has liquidations on there. Something I would assume. I don't know. Why.
This is where you fold on that argument.
It's theory. No, it's theory. Like the thing is why I think Tucker, to the bear side, why would he send 600 ETH to Coinbase? Is he going to go buy a new Rivian? What's he going to do?
Guys,
he's going to dump it on the open market.
BNB is not going to be saved. Okay. BNB is going to go down to $100 or probably lower. If you think that that's not going to affect the entire asset class, you are out of your damn mind. No one's going to long BNB, even if there's 300% APY negative funding. It's going to nuke, and it's going to nuke everything. This is your event. This is your 40% drop before the halving, right here.
I used to be in that same mindset, Max. When it didn't collapse in 2022, man.
I tried to help you guys last time. I tried to help you last time. You did not take my warning. I'm trying to help you guys again.
All right. Hold on. I tried to help you last time when I told you it was going back up, and you told me no, it wasn't, and it did.
I caught the long, and I tweeted thank you. But you didn't catch my short.
Long where I got stopped out by like 50 points.
Yep.
Oh, that
guys, this is gonna be.
We've all been on the right and wrong side of the trade.
It looked rough, man.
This is gonna be so bad. We're just sitting here and like, I can't believe we're not in consensus that the market's about to drop another 25%. I'm just shocked.
Look at the last peak there, Max. Look at the last peak right there
on BNB.
All the way to the left, right there. Yep.
Yeah, we're like here.
Looked very similar.
I kind of think we get it later this week if we do. Not yet.
All right, so you got another 40% to go. That's
that new 4K monitor, Tommy, and you can't see it still. I don't.
You get 40 more percent out of
that new 4K.
That new 4K monitor, and he still can't see it, man.
It was never the monitor. It was never the monitor.
It was the Monity.
All I'm gonna say.
I don't even know what else to say to you guys. It's just
look,
I'm just trying. I'm pleading. You know, I'm begging, and you guys just don't.
Max, look at the camera. Look at the camera.
Will sees, bro.
4. You don't think we could do that, Max?
I think we can absolutely do that, Tucker.
Yeah.
You guys are coping because you covered your shorts too early and you want entries. That's where this is coming from. And you know it in your heart that that's what this is.
No, you're coping because you didn't close the Pico bottom.
No, because you feel uncomfortable shorting here. You and everybody else feel uncomfortable shorting here after the drop because you don't want to be a bottom shorter. So you're like, please just go to 27.5 and I'll short. Please, I need to get back in. Please. No, you had your entry and you closed it too early. That's what happened.
I have no urgency to short.
Max, I'm not shorting the market.
Tommy, that's because you just made a yearly salary in like 3 days, man. You shouldn't. But I'm saying you wish you were still in. You should have left 25% on so you could just chill.
I probably should have left the runner on Matic.
Yes, you should have.
It looks horrible.
Great trade. I'm not saying you guys didn't have great trades. You did. I'm just saying it's not done yet. You know, have we learned anything from this year?
Have you learned nothing from Kobe? Job's not finished.
Max, look, I'm going to tell you from somebody who learned a lesson this year, okay? I'm going to tell you. I thought 36K was coming, just like you think lower's coming. And I'm telling you.
Well, it's so different, man. It's so different.
It's not different, man.
It's so different, man. God.
I'm telling you, man.
Max, you really don't think this could happen?
Tucker, you are so desperate for an entry right now. That is not happening.
Max, just look at that's the most predatory you could
get. That's the pain trade, bro.
Okay, but no, he's right though. All this is contingent on BNB not falling apart, honestly, I think.
Which is not going to.
If BNB falls apart, if BNB falls apart, we're just gonna get this.
Tucker, here's what's gonna happen. 23, 27.4, 21. Shove it. That's what's going to happen.
That's fine with
me.
You're not getting back above 30. All right, that's not happening. We're not going
29.7. 29.
That would be pretty damn funny, honestly.
Okay,
all the way back.
Can you imagine?
We're going to 31, bro. Going back to 31.
This is
going to take you out. It's going to take you out at 31, and then it's going to run back down.
No, this is all the RSI guys saying you didn't buy the dip. You didn't buy the dip.
Yeah.
We're so back. And then 23.
That was the G candle back in 20.
Tucker, hey,
I
agree with Tucker.
Like that?
Yes. Thank you, Will. Thank you, Will.
I agree with Tucker. That is the WAGMI move right there.
What sort of headline would cause that in today's market? I'm curious. We can spitball here.
What headline would bring a move up?
A move like that.
I got it. Let me answer that. I got it. First, we have to go down to 23, and BNB is going to slide to 125. Then CZ's going to tweet something. It's going to skyrocket price, or somebody's going to bail them out. It's going to be the FTX, we're getting saved wick. All right. And then everyone's going to realize, oh, wait, that's not actually happening. Oh, wait, that's actually bearish, whatever it is. And then we're going to nuke below the previous low. This is going to be FTX, but in reverse, guys. This is literally Q4 and Q1, but inverted. Okay. I've been saying that for weeks now on this show. You're not getting back above 30K.
Let me ask.
Your high time frame, lower high. Your high time frame, lower high is going to be maybe, if you're lucky, 28K.
Look, let me ask you guys a question. All right, let me ask you guys a question, and you guys can give me your thoughts. All right, who's the best market maker in all of crypto?
Snorlax.
Nomad.
Okay, Nomad. Who else? Give me a top five. Give me a top five.
Oh shoot, Nomad, Wintermute. I mean, at this point, there aren't that many left that I would consider very good.
Hold on. Would you entertain maybe that centralized exchanges could be market makers?
Yeah, I was going to say probably Binance's trading desk is one of them. Bitfinex's trading desk is going to be one of them, but I don't know if I could name a fifth. Deribit, maybe.
Right. So we'll go with those four. All right, we're going to go with Snorlax's four. You guys can definitely give me other names if you think there's better. So we've got a top four contender. All right, arguably I'd say top three contender on market making. And you guys think they're not going to play BNB and float BTC at the same time?
I'm saying that they have been, and eventually they run out of ammo. Will, I think you're correct, Tucker. Delete that, bro. Delete that.
Hey, take a snippet of that, Tucker.
Dude, that's not even, guys. We're so effed right now, and you guys are not prepared for it. My God.
No, it's fine. It would be more like this.
Dude. You're standing in front of a burning house, and I'm offering you fire insurance. You're not taking it.
That's because the fire insurance doesn't cover everything. It just covers the toaster and the TV.
No, wait, I got it.
There's an expensive premium on the fire insurance.
Yeah, there is an expensive. He is right.
And the expensive premium on the fire insurance is the negative funding on BNB, and you'd be happy to pay it. You know you.
Max, how do you feel about this one?
I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that because we're going to 23K. But I also think that would be front running 21K, which I think has to happen before next.
But Max, let's talk about this, okay? Because when I was talking about this and I said we break 28, we're going to 25. Everybody thought 27, 26, 27.5, and what happened? We went straight to 25. I'm telling you, we break 25, we're going down and filling that whole wick at the low. Like, we're not hitting 22, we're not hitting 21. We're filling the entire wick from the very first inverse move, and you have really good potential to reverse.
We're gonna have a moment of silence until we get to 20 likes on this video. The stream will cease to move forward. We have 27 people watching. We have 11 likes. We need 9 more. Guys, if you are enjoying the stream, if you are enjoying the content, if you agree with me that we are about to nuke, which we are, please consider liking this video, and please do it for the channel because it does wonders apparently for the robot at YouTube headquarters. So please consider liking this video, guys. We need to get to 20 likes. There's a moratorium on speaking until we get to 20 likes. No one speak. We will fall silent. Someone play elevator music. We need one more like. We're at 19. 20 likes. All right, the show can go on. Thank you guys so much. All right.
We might catch it live.
Let's talk about SPOOs in the NASDAQ. What are we seeing, Big Tug?
SPOOs in the NASDAQ. I want to do SPX.
And then volatility as well, because that's probably a huge.
It's over.
That's looking a little ugly. Yeah, I had that marked out in case we squeezed. Green box really held nicely. I don't know.
I was gonna say that was a great call, Tucker.
Yeah, green box, man. I wish I'd bid it. I mean, wouldn't have been
Honestly,
great.
I was looking for 40. I was looking for whole numbers, and we could still come back and fill whole numbers, but that was a really good bounce area. I didn't even see the 4350.
I think if
I was
you
looking for
get
43.
above here, you're bullish. But I think if you do this, it's over. And you're going to go put in a lower low somewhere down here, and you're just going to do this.
You care if I share my chart, Tucker?
No.
No, don't share it, or no, you don't care if I
No,
share it?
you cannot share it. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead, bro.
All right. We drew this on stream together a while ago. You guys probably remember my mega demand. We're going to get rid of all these here. We're going to get rid of this. We're going to get rid of this. We're even going to get rid of these right here. Okay. Hang on. All right. I think as deep as we could probably go here, I think this would actually make a lot of sense, truthfully. Would be an even deeper pullback than a lot of people want, like right around here. Like, I think this would be enough to convince like most people it's completely over. Like, here, let me just hide the normie trend line. It's definitely like in the way too much. But I think like a more aggressive drop to this level right here, like this would be pretty good right here. Like, there's a lot of, so let's forget this. Let's call this a deviation right here.
That's hilarious. That looks like Bitcoin's top right there.
And then we come back and we test these high time frame VWAPs and moving averages. Imagine right here like 4,100, man. And then we move up from there. I mean, that would be. I mean, this is your true demand, right? Like, like this line right here. Look, there's a lot more interaction at this line, at this resistance, now potentially flip support, than there is up here. So I think that maybe we come down.
I'd like
here
to build off that when you're done, Max. But go ahead and keep cooking. I'll build off it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So this was kind of my thoughts too. It was like you hit that 43, we maybe get a bounce up, we get a lower high, and then we move slowly towards that 41. And really that could drag through 2024, right? And then from there, we start moving towards all-time high. And then from there, we take another maybe year, 2025, something like that. We get to all-time high in SPY. And then from there, it's 2008, 2009. And I don't mean directly into price as in pullback from 2008, 2009. I don't think we'll see as deep as we did then. But I mean, like, we'll see the lower low on SPY at that point. I think we have plenty of, all this is doing is it's giving the proper amount of time to be able to reach that thesis, right? And it's given us time to get a bull market in crypto. It's given us the time to recapture price to the highs on all stocks. And this is why I don't think stocks are done yet, right? Like, I think stocks are not cooked yet. I think they're going to go up, whether it be from lower, whether it be from here. And I think that that's going to be a slow grind back up for the next year or two. And when we finally reach it and everybody's capitulated and think everything's fine, that's when shit starts collapsing. That's my thoughts on that, man. Like, I think, and this is why I think the bear thesis was right, but I think it's right later, right? So even though there's a bear thesis that we drop again and everything's over and recession, as Tucker has said in the past, right? You're only right if your timing is right, right? If your timing's wrong, it doesn't matter if your bear thesis and you screened it for 2 years. It doesn't matter. You were wrong. Doesn't matter if you screened your bullish thesis for 2 years. You were wrong unless it played out on time. So that's just my thoughts.
No, I would agree. I mean, I'm going to bid this level. Like, I'm bidding 4,200, or at least I'm closing shorts at 4,200. Like, I think that's in the short term. I think at a minimum, like if we did get a recession, we would do something like this, come up, and then then go down, and this would be your that's terribly drawn, right? But like, this is a pretty clean level up here, so like huge bounce off of here, lower high at 44.80, and then maybe we go back down, or maybe we go back up. I don't know, but like I think if we do come down here, you probably have to try to play that bounce, unless there's like a serious crisis that's happening.
Yeah, no, I think the lower high. So I think we're gonna get a squeeze soon. I really do. I think there's gonna be a squeeze to the upside, squeeze out shorts, and then the lower high comes into play after. That's my thoughts right now. Like I could really see a squeeze happening, just to get people out of the shorts they're currently in, and then rolling back over.
It'll probably look like one of those just really ugly wicks in hindsight too. That's just like a very obvious run at liquidity. What is the naked point of control of that vertical accumulation structure at 4,200 that ended up boosting our price up? Before that, Tucker, the breakout.
Oh, this
is mine, by the way.
Oh.
You don't recognize my chart, Tommy? I'm so offended. Are you talking like right here, Tommy?
Yeah,
like
if you could, get that. That naked point of control is probably going to give a really juicy bounce at some point.
I would agree with that.
Whatever that level is, I'm going to set a limit, and I'm going to be knife catching it.
4,150. Look at it, like even back further, like counting all of this as like the start of vertical accumulation, like right here,
Yeah.
Drop that on a weekly real quick. I think it's a lot easier to see kind of that consolidation range in there. Yeah, you see it. You see it on the weekly right there, all the way across.
This is your knife catch, man.
Yep. That's your area of liquidity right there.
Wow. Look at that.
Higher time frames mean everything, man. I tell people all the time, like, just shoot it up the higher time frame, see if your thesis plays.
Good little puke on Bitcoin here on the lower time frame, guys.
I know. I was looking at that earlier.
Wow, was Max right? I guess we're gonna find out.
Max, I think you'll be vindicated later this week, but I think we're gonna bounce today.
Yeah, keep in mind too, we could exceed that supply zone and go up to all-time high.
I could see that.
Nuke.
I could see that. Yeah. Stocks love to do that, man. Just
they love to fake out
moves.
Yeah, it might just run through that supply, man.
Yep. And just go up, hit all-time higher. Everybody's like, everybody was wrong. We were right. Bulls were right. And then the market just completely rugs. Yeah.
That would look like the or let me take that back. That would be a scenario that would kind of make sense, similar to that 2019 Bitcoin fractal that we were kind of overlaying, where Bitcoin is effectively going to go sideways with squeezes in correlation with equities, but ultimately massively underperforming them until we get some sort of stimulus.
Well, the thing is, though, Tommy, I want to put this out too, and this is why I'm even more in the camp of reaching all-time highs on stocks. Is if you reach all-time highs on stocks, I bet you. I don't want to say I'll bet you, but I'm pretty confident. All right, I'm pretty confident that crypto will actually outperform stocks, right? Because that froth will move its way into crypto.
I'm not sure about that, Will. I've been kind of thinking about it a lot. I almost think it might take, because it was a similar case in 2019 to a certain extent, where stocks went higher while crypto kind of went sideways. I think
2019 was still the accumulation range. We're going into a halving year.
Right.
And that's why I have that thesis, right? It's not just a thought process of like, people talking about, 4-year doesn't matter. I'm playing more off the 4-year, if that makes sense. And then if the 4-year doesn't play, it doesn't play.
I always talk about how fundamentals, I prefer, analyzing price over fundamentals, but I do think, to a certain extent, Bitcoin's price relies on the fundamentals of whether or not this ETF is going to be approved, because the space desperately needs new capital coming into it. And without a catalyst like that, that'll bring in outside capital to crypto, into Bitcoin, it's difficult to see crypto outperforming equities without, fiscal stimulus. I think that's just kind of where I'm at right now with it. Like, I wish they would bid it, but I don't know that crypto has created the necessity for institutions to feel like they have to bid it in order to outperform. at least not this year, right? Because it's been pretty difficult to trade, and there have been a lot of pitfalls.
Yeah, I just look at it more as like froth, more gambling, right? Stuff like that, versus actual the need or the want to. It just you get so much liquidity, so much extra cash flow that you're just like, hey, let's go throw a little bit at the casino table, and then that money sees its way into crypto. And yeah, you're probably right in some aspect. It may not be as exciting of a bull run, right? It could just be an upside one that gives us a higher high, but maybe we don't reach 100K again, right? And the market, then tends to say that crypto at that point is over, and then the 2030 cycle is the big boom.
You're gonna make
Max, I think you probably get a double bottom on
the breadth of the market
on that. On the indicator rather than, you know what I mean? Like you probably get to like the midline. I don't think you get to the buy it all line, honestly. If you set a macro high or low. And if you do get down to the buy it all line, things are very bad.
Kind of crazy how good my Ox Fractal is playing out right now, guys.
Your Ox Fractal on what?
Well, I don't want to scare the hose, but once it's completed, we're gonna moon.
Yeah. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I've been using Ox's previous price action fractal on another poop coin. And
was it ARB Optimism pair? I remember that's what I haven't checked in on that. I'm gonna look at that real quick.
Yeah, I really like the ARB, right? The ARB ETH. I think ARB will definitely outperform ETH by a shit ton. Looking at TVL and everything else, like the fact that I would arguably say it's probably second or third on liquidity and liquidity driving through it. Again, a lot of people like to talk about developers and like, oh, well, developers are where the money is. No, arguably, I would say liquidity is where the money is, and liquidity is on ARB 100%. Our TVL looks really good in comparison to all other L2s.
BNB just tapped 206.
Let's see what's
it's gonna play that range, man. It's gonna play that range. I mean, that wick you're seeing right there on the left, that could just be getting filled, right?
You
got to break that wick.
Look at the curve daily, guys.
Oh no.
Ooh. Oh no.
Oh no.
That is
we almost at 25 cents yet, or not yet?
Well, 40 is the over-the-counter price. At that point, institutions who acquired at that price are going to have to make a decision. Am I going to sell here or am I going to sell at zero?
Which means they'll have to buy their bags or
that's a like joke. I mean that, honestly.
I know you know.
Oh. And you must be thinking to yourself, boy, everybody else is probably about to sell. I should get out before they do.
Yep.
That's what happens when you get whales. That's actually what happened to Pulse Chain. For those of you who aren't aware, that's why Pulse Chain has been getting destroyed. It's been getting destroyed because the whales are massive in that thing. Go look at the whales. Like one wallet could liquidate the entire liquidity. You've got multiple of them.
Our favorite neighborhood benevolent whale.
But I would say too, one thing to look at and something we haven't looked at in a while, Max. You want to pull up total liquidity? Something we haven't talked about in a while.
Global net liquidity?
No, just on crypto.
What's total liquidity in crypto?
Just total.
Oh, you're talking about total crypto market cap. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can pull up total.
Oh, do you have that triple chart still up? Or did you close that?
I closed it. I can make it again, though. It's no problem.
That would be a good one to look at, too. See how that's playing out since we talked about it.
So tell me again how it's time to start bidding.
You're getting a retest, but
you gotta retest.
Above that.
You're not getting a retest. You gotta retest.
Well, I'm saying you're touching it right now, but I'm saying like you got to get above that before you can get bullish at that point. On total. So now
Total's
this would be
flow.
a good area to be looking at entertaining. So now total 2, total 3, and see how those look against it.
Here you go. Here's your trade right here.
You don't think they're going to stop out people expecting something like that with a shallow move lower into a shallow move higher into the real move lower? Like
Here's
I
what I
could
could
stretch
here's
that
what I could see
move
happening.
out.
Here's what I could see. Here's what I could see. Let's talk about it. Let's get rid of my curve. We can keep that on there. Here's what I could see.
I was going to make a joke about CRV, but I opted not to. You're welcome.
I could see this happening right here. Okay. I could see this. Bear trap. Squeeze. We're going to run it back. 21K.
Yeah, that's one that I think could happen.
I could see that happening for sure. No question. I could see that happening. This is where you're going to final TP either way, but yeah, I could definitely see something like this happening. Like
destroy
no
all
doubt.
the continuation, chasing bears before real continuation. That would be pretty funny.
Yes, I could see this happening without a doubt.
I think we range before that happens. I don't think it just comes out of nowhere, just like continues like that. I think we range for a while before we get any decisive move in direction.
I think
we're probably like 3-4 weeks.
The upside will have to come very slowly, but downside, that downside could happen this week, that sweep, but the squeeze could literally, like Will's outlook was saying, I could see that taking a whole month to play out in a range.
Yep. It could take till September, and then mid into September, then you get a nuke, right?
Yeah.
And then after mid to end of September, you start to recover from those lows, and then that's where your up only goes.
And I'll still be holding my shorts, getting paid. So
you're gonna hold your shorts for a whole month, Max?
I don't give a damn. I'm not going anywhere.
That's a big.
They want me out of my shorts.
Toll, man.
If they want me out of my shorts, they can call me personally and beg me to close my shorts.
Oh, they're going to call you. They're going to hit your TP and call you.
Max is
tell me
saying,
at 23. That's fine.
Steal your shorts.
Yeah, don't let the banker steal your shorts, man.
I will say one of the things.
Make a meme on that. Make a meme on that. Don't let the banker steal your shorts.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that all these altcoins, like the leading ones, have more negative funding on Binance than Bybit does kind of suggest that maybe there's a bit more spot selling pressure on Binance's exchange for whatever reason. You can attribute that however you want. But my guess is that those funds are probably being used to support BNB. But you can very clearly see the discrepancy across a few altcoins that typically lead the market, where Binance has lower funding than Bybit, indicating that they are more net short, or their delta is more short than Bybit. Not really what you want to see at a bottom. But I will say on Bitcoin and Ethereum, Bybit is lower than Binance on both of those. So I think it does kind of lend favorably to the idea that they are trying to prop up a few of these assets by selling off some of the worst ones. I'll be nice and just call them worse assets.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to happen quick. You know, I think it's going to happen quick. I think everybody wants an entry. I don't think it's coming. You'll see squeezes. You'll see squeezes. This is, it's over. We're gonna nuke.
Good. No.
Hold on. What don't you think's coming? You just said everybody wants an entry. If everybody wants an entry, your direction would be the way that they'd want it to go.
Yeah, everybody wants it to go up so they can short.
And they'll be denied.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking about an entry for long-term holds, man. Like I'm good with down. I'm good with down. Like, and I think most normies are.
No, I think everybody wants the bottom to have been in, and we just continue going higher. I think that's what.
I mean, those who bought in already, sure.
But everybody wants this to be the last shakeout before the melt up. It's not happening.
You got to keep in mind there's people that did buy in, and they want this to be the last shakeout, and there are people that still haven't bought in. Like, and I can name some names that have ins in their names and A's, but like. I won't say that.
Oh, no, that's fine, guys. We'll be here every single day this week, so we can narrate the max win again. That's fine. But I just want you guys to print. Like, you're not getting your entry. We're gonna nuke. You all want an entry. You're pretending like there's some more like profound reason. It's you want an entry. You want to short 27-2, and you damn well know it. And it's not coming.
Max I ain't short down here. I don't care if it goes to 27 or not. Like, I'm looking for longs. Whether that's from lower, I'll get them. Whether it's from higher, I'll get them. But I'm looking for longs. I'm trying to be that guy that comes in.
I'm just saying you're not getting 27-2. So
I think it's an environment that's going to be very favorable to play altcoin rotations at extremities.
But I'm trying to be that guy in the next cycle that comes in and says, "Hey guys, I loan the bottom." Just like all these guys that come on the spaces all the time. Like, hey guys,
mean everybody's long the bottom. Nobody missed the bottom.
Nobody missed it, bro. I mean, every person we've had on spaces bought the Pico bottom.
Yeah,
every single one of them.
Because we just have on Chads, brother.
All of them.
Great traders, man. That's all.
CNN bought the Pico bottom.
I want to talk about this, guys. I want to see what you guys think. Because
it looks like levels to me.
Yeah. So these boxes were drawn from fibs and volume profiles, and I just got rid of all of them and just made them simple so it looks clean. But
I like it.
I'm thinking if you hold it here, you could probably get a stab higher. Because I remember back here, guys. I remember the chart looked like this, and everybody said we're going to 5 cents. And I was aping all the way down, and then we just pulled one of these. And I'm worried that I'm looking for 10 cents, and I'm gonna get just front ran.
You're worried you're underexposed. Well, let me tell you.
Yeah.
This pattern looks like it's done, and I think you're gonna get a lower high, and I think you're gonna start breaking down from there. Like, I really do, and I'm telling you this because everybody. This is where.
Well, how do you choose to be bared up on RLB, best performers this whole year, but bullish on Bitcoin here?
Because the best performers are going to be the first ones to get shit on, while everything else gets rotated too. That capital that they make profit on will go elsewhere.
The whole damn thing's going to nuke. We're going to nuke. We're not done yet.
I'm talking about capital rotation. You're talking about just everything burning to the ground together.
Well, okay. On-chain bags have held on much stronger than.
Yes, they have. On-chain, my on-chain bags right now are doing very well. I'm talking about majors.
I'm just saying, look.
So far.
The neighbor's dog came over.
So far.
And it said RLB.
It's a very narrow door, Tommy, for on-chain. Nobody likes to talk about market cap versus liquidity on their favorite tickers.
Better things left unsaid.
I mean, RLB is what it is. I haven't bought any. I don't care to buy it. I'm in plenty of other things. Like, it doesn't bother me not to be in it. I'm just telling you, like, everybody is talking about it. Everybody. I remember this event with Luna. I remember it with FTX token. Why don't you own enough FTX token? And it didn't work out in anybody's favor to be in any of those things.
Yeah, I'm just thinking if you get down that deep value around 6-7 cents again, I think you got to ape, man. I think,
Yeah, I mean, you could make the argument at that price, 100%. I don't think the argument's there where it's at.
yeah,
You
it's
know?
just betting on human gambling and degeneracy online. I mean,
Yeah. I
there's
don't think that's a
nothing
metric that you can measure. So if it's not a metric you can measure, why would you bet on it?
Well, they're trying to measure it. They got their new dashboard they got. I haven't really played around with it, but apparently they're printing money. RLB is up 6x over the last 2 months from some random guy named Luis Espinoza. Don't know who that is.
I wonder how big their bags are.
Yeah, I don't know. This Luis Espinosa guy seems like kind of a wild card, man. Swearing in the chat, talking about pumping his bags. I don't know, man.
Doesn't that remind you guys of somebody else? Name starts with a P, ends with a Y.
No.
Parga?
Ollie.
He's talking about Pauly. Yeah.
Completely
Yeah, I don't
freaking
know,
going
man.
crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
And I kind of think it's cooked, bro. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I think a lot of people are just they're on the trade. Everybody's on the trade together, and we're all gonna wag me with the RLB.
Some of these on
Except me. I'm not wag me because I'm not stupid.
Some
Go ahead, Max. I know you want to say something.
I got a lot to say, Will. Just don't really know where to start. That's all.
He goes up to the mic and he's just like staring into the camera.
Looking deep into the eyes of the microphone.
What's NVIDIA look like, Tucker?
Let me explain this to you guys.
I can get on board with Link because it's low liquidity, but yeah. Does that look over to you, Max?
Has earnings this week.
Yeah, it does. Estimate to Billy.
Well, that looks over like a little bit before Rollbit played out.
Does that look over to you, Max?
That looks like Rollbit before it played out. It looks like the exact.
I am happy that you can still find it from within to laugh, Will, because what is about to come will suck the laughter out of every room.
Tucker,
what?
Get the fractal of Rollbit.
That's a pretty nice gap you got there, Tucker. How big is that gap? You want to measure that for me?
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
The whole thing.
That does look similar, actually. Yeah.
And put it on NVIDIA.
No, bro, it doesn't play. It doesn't lay over, doesn't play. They're two different things, man.
It's gonna be okay.
You gonna fade my pattern recognition, Will?
They're just different things. They're fundamentally different.
Longer cycle, Tucker.
Longer cycle.
Longer cycle.
Oh, I see. I think
you guys are massaging, man.
Oh, massage.
You're massaging.
Professional masseuse here, Will.
Oh yeah.
You guys are massaging.
Tucker, wow, look at this guy. Oh my
Oh, we got a lot higher to go, it looks like. There we go.
Find me another guy that's fractaling NVIDIA versus Rollbit, man.
The high of the year on NVIDIA comes with the AI or their earnings again.
No, don't be trying to massage it down. Leave it up there where it was at.
There it is. There it is.
No, that doesn't fit.
That fits.
No.
That fits.
No, no.
Nice,
you guys are squeezing it down more.
I'm a masseuse.
I don't know, Will. That looks like it fits to me.
Yeah, you guys are over here manipulating the chart, man.
Well, now the only question is, where does Rollbit go now then? And then we can just front run NVIDIA.
I told you Rollbit's going down.
I don't think there's any correlation between Rollbit and NVIDIA.
The often discussed, rarely
I
seen.
think the
on-
only
Make
the
it
only
that
common
big.
ground is that they're both in a bubble.
Yeah,
Yeah,
sure.
yeah.
I don't know. I see it.
I don't know, man.
I mean, yeah, they look similar, but
Very similar. Uncanny how similar. they
uncanny,
were.
he says.
Nah, man,
Many
that's like saying the
such
weather in Florida and the
cases.
weather in Las Vegas are the same.
No, it is not.
What?
No way.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Wow, man.
All right, guys, we got to wrap up the stream. We actually got a call here. We got to pop on there. Guys, thank you so much for being here today. Actually, Tommy, you do your thing, man. Take us away.
Yeah, no, I'll just wrap us up real quickly. We appreciate you guys for being here so much on a Monday morning. So shout out to you guys for getting out of bed, taking time away from your jobs, your families, whatever it is. We appreciate you being here. And yeah, we'll be back for another episode tomorrow. If you enjoyed the content, want a little bit of a deeper outlook into, how we're viewing the market right now, as well as some of our current positioning, we do have access to some of our premium content in the link of the description of this video, as well as the link tree of our Twitter. But yeah, we do have a meeting, so I'll go ahead and wrap us up right now. It's been a great start to the Monday. And like I said, we'll be back tomorrow and the rest of the week. We hope you guys have a great rest of your day. And yeah, see you later.
See you guys.
See you guys.